Yay! I'm creating my own textile fabric and I've already stitched all these cotton blocks together. Now I want to do some thread work. I'm working with the built-in stitches of my Bernina 735 and I'm just going to choose a nice general pattern to repeat over these light blue blocks. I selected a matching blue Mettler thread and yes, it's as easy as that. I'm just stitching up and down straight and the machine does all the work for me. My intention is to create my own fabric with all these blocks and variety of stitch work. I'm going to do some built-in stitches, free motion embroidery as well as machine embroidery. Keep a lookout because over the next couple of videos I'm going to share all these different processes with you. Enjoy! I'm still working on my own fabric design and today I am going to add some machine embroidery elements and I opted for the built-in patterns on the machine because my cyanotype as well as my printed cotton resembles doilies and I think this pattern is absolutely fabulous and suitable for what I want to do. Honestly, it was as easy as selecting the pattern, reshaping it, and I made 2 different sizes and I literally just started my machine. I threaded it with white cotton to stand out and the machine is doing all the work. I started out with my embroidery foot, but what I forgot is that these cotton pieces are just top stitched without any seams and it's easy for the foot to pull on the fabric. So later on I swapped this foot out for my number 44C embroidery foot. For now I just kept an eye on this pattern because I did not want to start over, so I'm just keeping an eye on the fabric and there you can see I swapped out the foot and yes, the bigger size is embroidering. Well, the machine is doing all the work. I'm just watching and making sure everything runs smoothly. I want to use a variety of techniques to add thread to my new fabric that I am creating and I can't wait to show you the finished project. For now, this is what the machine embroidery looks like and even with that little puckering and mistake, it is perfect for what I want to do. Next up, free motion embroidery. Good morning everyone, welcome to my sewing studio. So yes, what is a mind if you cannot change it? So I was working on this fabric. Today I'm going to do some free motion stitching on it to complete it. And I wanted to make sardine fish. First wanted to make a rabbit and then I thought the fabric would look so cool with sardine fish, and when I took out my pattern I connected the dots because I've always wanted a top with fish on it. And I recently tie-dyed with the Storm tie-dye kit. I dyed this top. Now I'm going to continue making this fabric and do all sorts of stitch work on it, and at the end I'm going to apply it to my shirt. So let's get going. Okay, so I'm working with my Echo quilting foot. I love using this foot for free motion embroidery because it is clear and I can see exactly where I stitch. And if you remember in my previous video, I said that I switched over to this foot because I top stitched all these blocks and the normal quilting foot hooked onto the seams. So look at that, just normal scribbles. I used tearaway paper at the back just for to stabilize the fabric a bit, and I'm using this light shade of blue blocks, and all of them gets free motion squirrely stitches on top with white thread. And look at that, my fabric is getting along. I'm almost done. I'm very excited to finish this project. Keep a lookout for the next video. Okay, so let's do some machine stitches again. Some of the built-in alphabet letters. And I am simply going to spell out the word sardine and then stitch it with blue thread onto my fabric. Using the built-in alphabet letters is an easy way to get some interest onto my fabric. I don't always have to use my embroidery machine. Sometimes keeping it plain and simple works the best for me. The machine is doing all the work and keeps on repeating the stitches until I end. Now at the end of my block, my word ends in the middle. But I am just cutting it there because I want the next row to start with the next letter of that word. This way I can create a beautiful repetitive pattern on my fabric without having the same letters underneath each other. When I reach the end of the block, I simply cut the thread, lift up my foot and start again. You will notice that I used a dark blue thread because I simply want the interest or the texture to be on my fabric. I don't necessarily want the word sardines to stand out, and that's why I did not use white thread. It's as easy as that. The machine is doing all the work. I'm simply guiding the fabrics and I'm just lifting my foot up and cutting the thread when I want to start a new row. So that's it for this technique. On to the next one. Okay, so I have 8 fishies that I am going to iron everything out, all the kings, and at the back I am putting some iron-on transfers, and you will see that I did not cut it exactly the same size as the fish because I don't want to stitch all the way on the edge, and I want the fabric to lift up a little bit because it must look kind of like a bit shabby, if that is the right word. Okay, so yes, now I've got all my fishies laid out. I don't have a specific pattern. I'm not one for symmetry. I just place them randomly and iron it on just to hold it into place, because I'm going to do some free motion stitches with my Echo quilting foot and do the eyes around the fish, and yes, take it from there. Okay, the other thing I did is I unpicked the sides of this top so that it's easier for me to work with the fabric and to apply these fishies onto my blouse. I only have one more step after this applique, and that is to sew on buttons where the eyes must be. Yes, I decided that I'm gonna add some buttons as well, and then all I need to do is use my overlocker and put it together, but I will show that to you in the next video. So this is what it looks like. I think it's pretty awesome. Finally, I get to finish my blouse with the fishies. I selected some buttons and chose my button sew on foot. Yes, that is right. There is a button sew on foot for my Bernina 735 machine. Makes it so much easier to sew on many buttons. I simply select the right foot. I simply select button sew on and just stitch. It literally is as easy as that. I promise you, this is a game changer. When I select the button sew on function on my machine, the machine automatically adjusts the needle width so that it stitches right in the holes of the button. And just like that, I have 7 buttons sewed onto my little fishies. The only other thing that I had to do is overlock the side seams And I also cut the seams away and put new roll hems in because I did not want to see the white thread of the original garment. The white thread was poly cotton thread, and it did not dye with the dye stuff that I dyed the fabric with. And just look at my funky fishy new top. I absolutely love it. I love to refashion my clothes, and I love sustainability.